How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just had myself a delicious smoothie and I'm excited to get going, tackling the continuing journey of Lucky 2.0 coming to life. I just took out a box that was chock full of everything that was living down here in my junk drawer. So now I've got two completely emptied drawers. This is the last one I got to get to. We'll find a separate box for that because it's all my kitchenware and stuff. Now you might think because I'm emptying the, oh hey, I missed something. Ah, my little Leatherman squirt, as I do. That guy's a handy little guy. You might think because I'm emptying these drawers that I'm going to be tackling this area of the van today. No, you'd be wrong. My goal is I want to get the bed done first. Now that's not going to happen in this video, but I want to get started on that. So the bed platform is going to come off, which means I have to take off the piano hinge that is between the two pieces of plywood, get these legs off, and then start looking at the framework of the bed. Now forgive me if I start repeating myself. I'm filming a lot of content and this whole process is not very well planned out. I'm very much flying by the seat of my pants. So like I said, I may repeat myself. In a previous video, I said I wasn't going to tackle my electrical system, but the more thought that I put into that over the last few days, the more I think that that is absolutely silly. And the whole electrical system will absolutely be getting overhauled. It currently all lives at the back underneath my bed with wires running to and fro. This is my Shoreline charger that runs to the battery to charge it up when I'm plugged in. The light's on because I currently have shore power. But all of that is going to move, so we will have to undo all of that, which will effectively make Lucky dead in the water. So that is the plan for today. It is a holiday day that I'm filming this, so actually none of the hardware stores around me will be open. What I would love to do is maybe tomorrow get over to Silverton and see what they have available for 2x4s and sheets of plywood. I believe this is about 3/4 inch plywood. And as again, previously mentioned, I'm going to turn these existing panels into a drawer for underneath the bed. But I like the thickness of that. It's been great. I haven't had any problems with that platform as a bed. So if I can get another sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, that would be great. And hopefully it doesn't break the bank too much since I am now doing this build in BC versus the first time I built Lucky, which was in a little bit more affordable Alberta. Just been letting Lucky run for a few minutes here. She hadn't been running the entire time I was going to be, BC. The entire time I was back in Alberta, excuse me. She fired right up. That was nice. No hesitation there. This area of Lucky is getting a little, well, carried away. In my junk drawer, I had my electrical connection kits and whatnot. It's got a whole bunch of lugs and stuff on them and wiring and heat shrink and all of that. So I kept that out along with a bundle of zip ties because you never know, but I do know those will absolutely come in handy once I start doing that wiring. I'm gonna have to get this area cleaned up a bit because no matter what, there's no way Grace is going to be able to haul any of this wood. So when we make that trip into Silverton, or God forbid, Winlaw, or even Nakusp, depending on whether or not Silverton Building Supplies has what I need, I'm gonna have to be taking Lucky to haul that because, you know, cargo van. We'll have to get all of this stuff cleared off later. This is my TV. It's tricky. I'm trying to keep myself as organized as possible, get rid of what I don't need, and nicely sort of store what I do need here at my parents', but it's getting a little out of control. And this is just immediately outside the van. There's that box that I just took out with the junk drawer. What I will do is with that box is later tonight when I'm like unwinding and watching TV, having an adult bevy, I will go through that box and eliminate what I don't need. That's what I did last night with this box. And at that point it had all of my kitchen spices and stuff in it. And a whole bunch of assortment of other crap, and I was able to get rid of a lot of that. So gonna have some garbage to throw out as well. Where I am in small town British Columbia, you can only go to the dumps on Wednesday and Saturday. So I have a couple days to go before I'll be able to do that. But it'll be good to sort of get ahead of that and get it cleared up and to sort of get this place ready for my little girl when I bring her out here next, let's just say next week for the sake of argument. Up here we've got the old housing for the litter box. Hopefully we can reuse some of that. You never know. I don't want to go too crazy with buying materials. I know I will have to do that for some of it. like I just said, I will need new 2x4s for the framework of the bed to hold the drawer slides for the drawer that will come out the back here, and of course the bed platform itself. And the wheel well box over here, the more I've thought about it, the more I talked about cutting it down, making it shorter so it fits into the bed, blah, blah, blah. I think I may just forego this box altogether. We may remove this piano hinge, remove this strut, and then seal the top of this box and put it back over the wheel well. So right there, right? But make it short enough where you obviously couldn't really store anything. And, well, I guess you could still always put a few things down here. But ultimately, I may make it inaccessible, but I want to put the box back in because I think it played a big role in the whole insulation of my van. Lucky has been a very warm van, especially when it comes to where I primarily am living my van life, which is in the frozen tundra of Alberta. Now, granted, that's a small section out of the year, at least lately, but the temperatures can get quite nasty, and she has been lovely. As much as this wheel well is covered in Reflectix, I still think this would allow a lot of cold air to come in to the living space. And since it's going to be underneath the bed, I really don't want to risk it. I think we're just going to slap that box back in there in some fashion because I do not want to risk changing too many things and then, you know, freezing my tootsies off. Nay. All right, well, first things first, we got to get this stuff moved off of the bed platform so I can actually open it. Got gloves. Diesel heater ducting. We got our little drawer of screws and brackets that we are saving. That now includes a hose clamp, as well as the mounting plate for the diesel heater control panel. Got my Leatherman here, other odds and ends, screwdriver. Ooh, another hose clamp. Join us, won't you? A busted connector for the vent for the diesel heater. I think I have another one of those in my spare stuff. That over here on the sink for now. Also, if I get far enough ahead today, it may also be time to say goodbye to the water station and get it out of here. You can see Penny's litter box down there. Well, it's just an empty pan for size-wise. Regrettably, I totally spaced out on that the last time I was in Calgary. I meant to go to the pet store and see if I could find a little bit of a smaller litter box, more akin to the box she's had since we moved into the van in the first place, because it is a little bit, it's got a bit of a smaller footprint compared to that new one I bought, and smaller the better. She won't care if she's pooping in a little bit of a smaller box. Believe me. Just sort of playing musical everything here. Ooh, that over there. Grab our impact driver, which has basically been my favorite tool for the first build and now the second build. These impact drivers are great. Kind of acts like a drill, but easier to change bits and gives you a little bit of a when you want to screw into things. Okay, put that there. Slide that out. There we go. Open this up. Okay. Carefully. All right, so here and here and continuing on, those are the screws that hold these legs in. Maybe when I got all these here. Okay, let's take the piano hinge off first, because that will free up this board. It's just this one that has all of the bracing. Oh man. Okay. Time lapse it. There's a lot of screws in this little piano hinge. Okay, got 2 screws left here on the hinge, 1 and 2. And our 72-inch piano hinge is not free because I missed one. What the hell? How did... There we go. Some people's kids. All right, now the hinge is free. Woo! These things are not cheap. Wonder if I'll be able to... Probably not. I wonder if you can cut these. Anyway, we'll put this up on the wood pile. Now, let's get this piece out. Oh. There goes the bed. Oh. There you go. Now we've got a really small bed platform. And again, welcome to my brain. As much as I was talking about turning these pieces of the bed into the drawer and getting new plywood for the bed, where my brain was at a couple days ago is, again, to go back to moving my electrical system. I basically want to move the battery so that it's on that side of the bed, so it'll be closer to the central heat. Don't have to worry about it as much, but I'm still gonna need access to it from time to time. So then my brain went, instead of having the bed open like this, why not have two hinges so where the bed will then open like this? So imagine the bed platform, instead of being this way, it'll go this way, and it would be 3 chunks of this. So you'd have one in the middle that's basically bolted to the framework and does not move. But you could have one piece back here that opens up this way, but more importantly, you'd have one on the inside that opens up this way, right? So that way, maybe I could even get a mattress that is a trifold, because the length of the bed is 72. And if my math was correct, 72 divided by 3 is 24 inches. Well, it's 24 whatever you might be calculating. In my case, it is inches. In your case, it might be apricots. I don't know. But the nice thing is that these boards that I'm taking apart right now, they are 24 inches long each. They're also 72, which means that 2 inches would have to come off because here to here is 70. Then I would only have to get one more piece cut. And since they don't sell plywood in these sizes, I would have leftover plywood. I don't know. I think either way, I'm building a drawer from scrap, but maybe that's an easier cut. I don't know, this is where my brain's at. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't necessarily need this to be hinged, because if I have a drawer back here and then just space under the bed, I mean, I don't know, we'll know it a little bit better once we get the framework in. That's where my brain is at regarding hinges and bed platforms. Well, before I start tackling the framework here, I think the next step is to get this platform off of the drawer slides. I can show you how I built those, and get these legs off. Think I'm gonna start, we'll start with the legs, because I can just do this. There we go. Moving right along. Hey, easy peasy. There we go. All right, let's slide that back. Oh yeah, these little Velcro, I don't know if you can see this, but there's Velcro on the wood on the bottom of the bed platform. I had a little kick out leg at one point that would stay up against the Velcro when I wanted to slide it into couch formation. And I thought I'd also need that leg down when it was in bed formation. Turns out I did not. The overworking brain of the DIYer. Okay, let's put that, nope. There we go. Cool, now, check this out. So this is how I built the drawer slides. I got the 500-pound drawer slides mounted to this framework that I installed, and then I just got these, they look like 2x3s? I don't know, either way, they are on the other side of the drawer, and it's just, and that's how it works. All right, worked out pretty darn well, if you ask me. Not that I ever needed the couch, but all good. Learning. The hard part now is going to be getting these drawer slides off. We've got big old bolts. They're all screws, not bolts. There. We've got 3 back there. And I think, yeah, there's some more sort of hidden along the track. As you slide this along, you see screws slowly start to reveal themselves. Was that it? Not too many then. Maybe only 2 back there. And then, of course, I also applied construction adhesive to the back of the drawer slide. So probably this part would be easiest to get off first. Or maybe I should just leave these on here for now, because who knows, maybe we'll be able to repurpose these drawer slides in some way, shape, or form, like a fridge slide. Okay, so all I'm gonna do for now is remove this part of the slide so we can get it off the framework. Okay, pretty sure this is just on by construction adhesive now. I hope so. I'm about to start reefing on it. Hang on, it sounds like there's something else. I feel like there's maybe one more screw in here. There's definitely not. What the heck? Where's our trusty screwdriver to pry it off with? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Boom. Just a little construction adhesive holding the. I barely put any on, it looks like. But it clearly did a little thing, little something, little bit. And we got a drawer slide with some wood. I really enjoy how this time with this creative process of this build, things are sort of presenting themselves as I go. Because I've been debating on how to do my fridge in that area without losing counter space. I didn't even think about these drawer slides just because they're overkill, right? I ain't gonna have 500 pounds in my fridge ever, but I don't know that these drawers will work here at the front. Maybe they will. Because as much as I want that big drawer that goes out the back, it would also be nice to have a smaller drawer that comes out the front of the bed, right? So maybe instead of like a 60-inch drawer out the back, do 52, and then maybe we can have a 24. Does that make sense? No, it'd be too big, 76. I'll figure it out, but you know what I mean. Like one drawer goes that way, one goes that way. That would be cool. We shall see. All right, I'm gonna pop that other drawer slide off. It's gonna look exactly the same, so give me a minute. All right, screws are out. Pry this bad boy off. There. There we go. Come on. Oy. Cool. Oh, well, that took a look. See, construction adhesive works. That's actual wood that it tore right out of that 2x4. You have to scrape that off. Construction adhesive, keeping my van together since 2021. All right, if we take a look here, you can see that I have a latch that I installed on the outside here, and the other part that it locks into is on this side of this drawer slide, and that was my intention, to keep the bed in couch formation while driving. It works, it definitely works. But again, see previous message of me not ever using couch formation. So with that being said, take this bad boy off, because you just never know. Find a use for them. If I do use these drawer slides for the fridge, they're not locking drawer slides, so here you go. And you're free. All right, so we'll put all that up there. Try to keep those specific screws with their slide, but I mean, I don't think I'm gonna run out of screws anytime soon. It's hard to believe that I've already taken out that many and there's still so much of Lucky left to go. All right, the next step is starting to take this framework apart, which acted as my bed frame and was clearly overkill. Like, again, a lesson learned. I don't think I needed all of this, like this side thing here. That was obviously just for the drawer slide, but it probably could have been done in a little bit of a more conducive way. Oh well, I'm not going to sit here knocking myself too much. There's my DC to DC charger that I'm always talking about. When I flip that little blue switch up near the driver's seat, turns this bad boy on, and she charges up the house battery. You're probably not going to live exactly there, but maybe a little bit this way. So again, what I'm thinking, oh, hang on, this is all the hardware that was on the drawer slides. Let me move that so it doesn't all tumble down into the abyss. There, that's better. Now I can open up this wheel well box, and again, it only opens up this far, but there's the other wheel well box. I got some extra shoes back here, booster cables, blocks for chalking your tires and whatnot. Again, I very rarely ever get in here. Again, you can see the layout. I kind of kept it in the middle, right? So that you got even space on this side and this side of the wheel well box. Again, what I'm thinking now is I'll get this emptied out. Once I get all of this stuff off of the front of the box, I'm going to undo the box and we will slide it this way so that right here, I gain almost this, right? If this presses up here. Same theory, I don't think I'd want to remove this box completely just because of not wanting to die in the freezing cold weather. Take a look at all these bloody cables. Oh, man. Woo. Good thing I am the one that put this together. Probably looks like it would kill you by just touching one wire, but I assure you it won't. Better me than you to dive into this, though. The nice thing too is I don't know, again, this is just how it happened because I built my van, and as things went along, I was living in it now and I was adding things, kind of like my inverter up here. You can see both of the wires are red. Obviously this is negative because it's black, and that's positive because it's red, but I had to run all these wires back here because of the way the bed was laid out and the space that I had at the time. That's actually the breaker for the inverter way back here. So you got all these wires that run all the way up there. It will be nice to cut down on that distance as well. Less resistance. Haha, see? What was I saying about zip ties? They always come in handy. These ones, unfortunately, their days are numbered. Tool roll here. Thank you for your service. Zip ties. All right, so I got that done. The zip ties are off, and now I'm just measuring the battery and seeing how it will fit here. That battery is a 200 amp hour lead time battery. It's been an absolute beast ever since I installed it. The reason it's back here is because, if you don't know, if you're newer to the channel, originally I had 2 Trojan flooded 6-volt batteries in a little housing back there, and that little bit of foam you see there actually allowed them to vent out, because flooded batteries have a tendency to off gas. And so that was kind of the battery area. And so when I got rid of them, there was really the only space to move this battery. When I first got it, I actually had both batteries, basically. This guy lived right underneath the bed, which was a little obnoxious, and I recently moved him in there. But now, like I said, I want to move it up here. He is 21 inches long, so I got my tape measure there pressed up against the baseboard, and lucky, if I have to remove those baseboards, I will buy a condo instead. Just kidding. It's my way of saying those baseboards are not coming out. But 21 inches right up here. So that battery can live in there. Obviously, it can't live here right now because I don't think that's enough space. I mean, let's find out. Come down here roughly. Let's just, get under the wires. Poke the wires with the tape measure. What could possibly go wrong? So it's about an 8-inch battery. Huh. Oh yeah, well, it'd fit. But it would be damn, I know it doesn't look like it, but there. It'd be a tight squeeze. Either way, what I would want under here, not only the battery, but also the DC to DC charger, and ideally the inverter. So again, this whole box shifts down. We gain hopefully more than enough room, and I can build a little power station compartment and have all of those components in there. Oh, I've learned so much. I didn't learn to label all of my wires, so you can see that most things in my van do have fuses, or, well, these are called breakers, right? That's a breaker. Did I call it a fuse earlier? I can't remember. It's a breaker, like a circuit breaker. There's another one right there. That is the DC to DC charger circuit breaker. There's one down there. I believe that is the tiny inverter that I have up there, that little red bit right there. And then this one I had to just figure out, this is my actual, like, fuse box one. If I just gently touch that, turns the lights on and off, and I'm sure it's making the diesel heater controller freak out as well. If I press that, does that go away? Yep. So, those style of circuit breakers aren't the best. You can get them on Amazon, and they're cheap enough, and they, yes, have been working okay. You do have to get in and tighten them every once in a while. Another reason why under here is a pain in the butt. If I can, I will pick up more of those style circuit breakers. These guys here, these are a little bit better in my opinion. All right, well, enough yapping. Oh, wait a second. I see more zip ties. Hi-ya, hi-ya. I think those are just holding that circuit breaker. Yep. Such a professional build. If you would like to hire me, don't. And if you've ever wondered, does Vanlife Plus own a nice pair of dress shoes? The answer is, well, I mean, yes, nice is subjective, but this is where they've been living. Tucked away under here. Ha! There you go. For the rare occasion I might need such a shoe. I don't even know if those would fit me anymore. Not that I think my feet are growing still. Let's get serious. But I have not worn dress shoes in a very, very long time. Cute little cubby under there, though. Impossible to access. So actually, yeah, I'll have even more room under there. Nice. This is gonna be the most daunting thing, I think, just because of the wiring. I gotta think, how do I want to take this apart? One, so I don't kill myself, and two, so it's not super complicated to put back together. Maybe I'll go over it a little bit more in detail later, but my power setup basically... Put your diagonal cutters back up there. The power setup basically is positive and negative from the battery come out to this positive bus bar and negative bus bar. And then I also have to have this shunt in. So the shunt runs one negative wire to that negative bus bar. The shunt is what allows my battery monitor to work. And explain that to me. I'm at 89%, but I'm fully topped up and my shore power charger says that the battery's full. I hate 12 volt battery monitors. They are not reliable. But it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, I guess. I don't really know if that can be applied. You can tell it's even charging because it's flashing. Like, just ridiculous. But anyways, these bus bars just make it easier when you have more things that need to be powered. So coming off of this, for example, you'll have the main power for the fuse box, the DC to DC charger positive in, my inverter positive, as opposed to having all of those on one post on your positive on the battery. They just all go to here. You're basically just extending your positive, right? If I open this up, you'd see there's like 5 posts. So you got one wire that runs from the battery to this, and then that provides power to anything else that's connected to it. And I know that I'm not wired properly right now because if you look closely, this line here is my Noco Shoreline charger. That little black box right there, and for whatever reason, I have the negative going to the negative bus bar, but I have the positive coming up here to the battery. Completely unnecessary. That positive could just as easily go right to this guy. So it's also, as daunting as this is going to be, it will be nice to tidy it up as well. I stuck my tripod into the screw pile and the magnetic feet grabbed a bunch of screws, as they do. Well, like I've said before, every journey starts with a single step, and for this journey of the bed platform, we will start with pieces that aren't, really connected to the wiring. So I'll take out this piece down here. Perfect example of I'm not 100% sure where my brain was at. I mean, yes, it gives it more structural integrity, but it also adds a heck of a lot more weight having this like cross beam down here. So I'm gonna take that off and this top one off if I can. Let's get it. So yeah, outside of making that nice little cubby there, that bottom piece, I can't think that added much support for anything. This top piece, of course, I believe it's on with construction adhesive. All the screws are out, but yes. All right, get that pry bar. Where is it? Pry bar. Piece of screwdriver. Stick it in. Pry. I suppose I could also just use a hammer and whack it. There we go. I've got to be missing screws. I don't see any though. All I'm doing is destroying the integrity of the wood. Go again. Holy diner. Holy diner, man. There we go. Pop. Wow. Yeah. Like I said before. Alright, so this guy actually comes off really easy. So, Noco battery monitor, maintainer or whatever. Comes out of its little mount here, no problem. I've got it fixed to this, it's a self-tapper into like a wire control system. I got the mount there, those are Phillips. Just so happens I have a Phillips right here. Boop. Take the mount off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And the battery monitor is more or less free. We'll leave it connected to the battery for now. We'll just put it up there for now. I would like to keep this on the battery. Obviously it's gonna have to come off at some point, but that way I'll keep my battery charged up while I'm working on Lucky here. But now that that's off of there, I should be able to get back here, get these screws out of this big support beam that runs that way. And then I'll have to get the circuit breaker off the end. And then maybe we can get started on this little guy here. Let's see how far I get, shall we? Well, that's all out. And that's it. Look at this. Welcome to my brain. Under here, an unopened thing of lap sealants. If you missed that video, I made a whole thing about having to pick more of this up when I was in Calgary that first time. So I am now the proud new owner of 3 of these. That's okay though, because if we come up here, once I get to this, it's gonna be a bit of a nightmare to fix anyway. So better to have more than enough lap sealant. I needed to stand up. This is, I'm in a little bit of worse physical shape because of my back than I was when I first was building Lucky. So the in and the out and the constantly crouching or being on my knees is doing a number on my back for sure. So just taking a little bit of a break here. I want to get all of this stuff out, cleared out. And then I think I'm going to remove this little door hatch here so I can actually see exactly how much space I'm going to have underneath my bed. And obviously all that stuff has to come out anyway, if we are in fact going to move this box. All right, got that stuff cleared out of there. And it looks like the only things that are holding this box in are a bunch of screws here on this frame I put in, and potentially a couple right up here. So this should be, in theory, easy enough to get out. Let's see. Of course, my impact driver is way up at the front of Lucky. Come around back here first. Yeah, I see 2 screws here. There we go. Holy crap! Did I use enough screws? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, at least I was even. I don't think this was going anywhere. Screws out of the way. I remember these little brass guys being my favorites. Oh, something somewhere. Oh no, never mind. Come on, little garage cubby. You can go out here for a minute. Thank you, sir. Holy Dinah. All right, well, let's get the vacuum. Get this area cleaned up. These screws put away before they end up on the ground and end up in Lucky's tire. Door tires. There's a lot of screws here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a prettier backdrop compared to the back alley I was in the first time. There's even crunchy snow down here right now. It wasn't here the last time I was down here. Well, the sun's going down. It's gonna get a little chillier soon, a little darker. I would like to get in there, get the wheel well box moved, maybe remounted, get the lid off of it potentially. I'll show you why. And get the inverter and the DC to DC charger disconnected. That sounds like a good goal for today. But obviously, before we do that, we have to say hello to Miss P first. Hello, hello. Hello. You just sitting like a little queen on your throne and pillow? Hi. Hello. Are you over your Kong? Are you over it? Are you over that toy? Yes. Did you kill your bird as well? Oh, good girl. You probably need some treats. It has been a hot minute. Yes. All right, where are they? Where did we put them? Oh, I found them. Where are you going? Oh, using your scratcher? Using your scratcher. Well, hey. Good girl. This. Good girl. You wouldn't be too happy with the way Lucky looks right now, I don't think. Although, hey, I promise you, your cat loft is still there. All right, let's get our work light on here just in case we lose power to the house. I don't know how far I'm going to get with the electrical right now, but we currently have house lights. I want to get in there and start poking around. So, nice, bright light to work by. All right. Light's giving us all sorts of shadow puppet possibilities. The really nice thing about doing this is that I'm going to get the opportunity to get my electrical exactly the way I want it. Something I didn't do last time around, obviously, right? So the fuse panel and all of that and the way this all works, this whole rat's nest of hashtag yikes will, God willing, get cleaned up. All right, so before I start taking wires off, I should probably kill the power going to it. Well, here, let's just start with this. These bus bars down here, we gotta take the covers off. They're just Phillips head screws that sort of hold these plates on. Again, I'm just gonna grab my impact driver because I'm a savage. Just gonna loosen up these screws. Yes, reveal my negatives. All right, and there's all the negative connections. Let's take the positive off so we know what we're dealing with here. Everywhere I look, there's a zip tie. Right here. Don't clip your wires. Pro tip. Okay, that can get out of the way. Oh, I only had two in. Awesome. So now I can see everything. And this one right here is the one that comes in from the battery. That is the main positive line in. So as soon as I remove that, well, I mean, it'd be smarter to remove it from the battery, we'll lose all power. That's not what I'm trying to do just yet. So give me a minute to trace some wires and see what goes where. All right, so this post right here is a positive that's running out to, well, the circuit breaker of the inverter as well as the circuit breaker of that other inverter. So taking these two off will definitely benefit this whole situation. So these bloody boys are 14 mil. Get this on there. Loosen them up. Screw off the nut. Everybody just calm down. There's one. There should be a washer there. Yep. Perfect. All right. That's off. And while I'm here, we'll disconnect that one as well. And then don't lose any bits Put the washer in the nut. Back. Put the candle back. All right, so that circuit breaker, all this big wire here, this is the one we just disconnected. The rest of it runs way up here, way up to the, wait a second, is that the negative? No, it's the positive, which is this guy. And he's a 12, looks like, or half. Okay, and then that comes off. And we no longer have a positive connection on the inverter. And while we're here, we may as well pop that negative off. That ain't gonna hurt anybody. Let's go, bro. Ah. Now I wonder, can I just, it's kind of been, it's always just been jammed in here. Yeah. Oh wait, is anything plugged in on the front except for the remote? Ah. Let me see on this side. Push it back. Can't see nothing. It's dark. Oh no, just the remote. What the heck? Plug the remote and pull. Oh, there's just stuff on top of it. What? Here we go. We got our inverter out. What? Now, granted, I don't use the inverter too much, but from it being back there, I mean, you can see those fans are clean. Not a lot of dust or hair otherwise. So set that bad boy aside. And now that we have this disconnected, yeah, I'm thinking this wire here will definitely be able to substitute as my negative to go from the battery's new location, which will be up here, to that negative point on the chassis. Yeah, these circuit breakers are cool when they trip. Those, that just pops out like that, and you just snap it back in. Never tripped on me. This is a 200 amp one, or 200 watts amp. Volts? We'll go with amps, 200 amps. It's been a hot minute. Is this, are these 14s as well? Yes. Well, not really, but it's working. There's 1, 2. All right, let's put that circuit breaker aside. Definitely gonna want to save that guy. We're getting all sorts of wires here. So next up is a DC-to-DC charger, which is this positive here going right there, and its negative comes and kind of spirals around and goes right there. What the heck was I thinking? This thing has no power going to it because the little switch is not flipped, which is the ignition power, which is this little red wire guy here, or there I should say, now that I've moved on from pointing at it. And this just goes to show it's silly the way I have everything else set up. So I've got my shoreline positive going to the battery. I also got my solar positive going to the battery. It's why the DC-DC charger is going to this, and it works fine. I'm a great example of getting too much up in my head about things. Like, well, if it's not connected directly to the battery, it clearly won't charge. Remember what I said earlier, that the bus bar is just an extension of the positive point, so it don't matter. I'm saying this more for my sake than yours, but hey. When I was talking about this box, you can see inside here now, it's actually, we'll open up all the way now. We can, hang on, it's gonna be harder to do now that I have a camera in my hand. We can slide the box this way, right? So it gives us the most space over here, which is all well and good. And we still have this as storage. I was first saying, well, I'll take the lid off, which would totally defeat the purpose of the box providing insulation. So now I'm back to where I was before. It's like I've got this little notch cut out here now, of course, but because we moved the box, it no longer closes, right? I'm gonna have to make that notch a little bit bigger. And I should be able to do that fairly easily with my jigsaw, maybe. That sounds like a future Matthew problem for sure. But that's basically the amount of space we would get. And now I've just been sitting here trying to, oh, I cut myself. Well, here we go. Trying to envision how this is all going to look with the battery here, and then also having the DC-DC charger, the inverter, and the bus bars. It's starting to get a little tight here. So I don't know. This may have to just end up being like battery, DC-to-DC charger, inverter, and then, or the inverter and the bus bars might have to move up to like a new cubby in this area, which effectively means I got to take all of this out. That's like the next step before I start moving all that over here. Got to get the DC-to-DC charger off the box and then start getting the bus bars off. I'm hesitant to like kill power to Lucky. Not that I couldn't just immediately give it back, but oh, what a time to be alive. Here's just one more thing I got to get out. This is the wire for the battery monitor itself that runs to the shunt. It's all up here. Means it's got to come down. Where did it all go? There we go. All right. Oh, it's stuck behind another wire there. It's all sort of tucked in there. They definitely give you lots of wire for this thing. That's for damn sure. Oh, look. It's in a zip tie. Shocking. You bugger. All right. Okay. Comes around here and plugs in. Shunt right there. Well, that, we no longer have a battery monitor. Demount that guy and we'll have him ready to move. Toot bloody sweet. There we go. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is just stuck on here, so it should just, yep. Oh yeah, just some double-sided tape, no big deal. All right, maybe we can find a better, more recessed spot for you this time. Sad day when this cupboard's gonna have to go. Yeah, we can find a spot for it with the door and everything, but maybe not. Obviously, there's stickers all over it that I've had for a very long time. The cupboard's been okay function-wise. I built it completely from scratch, leftover wood and this, that, and the other thing. I just had to get some hinges. It looks like I spray painted silver hinges. Or maybe that's just from rubbing off over time. I can't imagine. No, I wouldn't have painted hinges. I think they were just coated ones with white paint from the store. This, more importantly than the stickers, we'll definitely have to find a new home for it. This is a picture that my cousin Lindsay gave me for my first Christmas in the van, and it's a photo of the first time I was in New Denver with just Brooklyn, and we were saying goodbye to the lake. I mean, it wasn't just us. Obviously, Lindsay took the photo, but I mean, as a single dad with my little girl at my favorite place in the world, and it's just this is a nice photo. This is not getting left behind. In no world is that possible. We may even have to touch up the glue a little bit. All right, let's get this guy down. There, safekeeping. Now I won't forget where it is, and I can keep it nice and safe while I am sleeping. And when my little girl is here in a couple days and I am relegated to the air mattress in the other room, she can be in charge of keeping it safe. All right, that is it for this one, you guys. Obviously, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. The water station didn't even get touched today, but I think with a project like this, it's important to remember that it's gonna go absolutely slower than you expect it to. That's just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast. And I've got an idea of what I want to do and how I'm going to organize all that power stuff at what will be the foot of the bed. But that is absolutely a problem for tomorrow, Matthew. So until then, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves. Most importantly, be positive. And remember, only dead fish go with the flow.